Hey guys, Phil here at Woods Tree Farm. If you've been following our channel for a little while, you've seen we picked up this 20-year-old Honda Rancher a couple months ago now. It's had an intermittent starting issue. I've been talking about trying to get a new starter on it. I actually picked up a new solenoid as well, but I'm going to try to put in the starter first and see what that does. I've already torn into this project just a little bit because I wanted to make sure, A, I knew what I was doing. I don't actually really know what I'm doing. I looked up a couple other YouTube videos. I went on Honda forum, and I also, as I was doing this little bit that I'll catch you up on here, uncovered another problem. I snapped a photo of it, uploaded it to a Honda owners group on Facebook, and got back a pretty quick answer about what that was all about. So now I feel pretty confident that we can go ahead and finish this. So let me catch you up where I'm at right now. I'll show you the little problem that I ran into that I'm going to have to fix in a couple days when another small part comes in, and then we'll go ahead and put in this new starter and see if that solves the starting issue that I had. Alright, so here we are. Obviously took the seat off already. I took the air box off. I disconnected the negative terminal on the battery, and I'll explain in more detail in just a second why I did that. So the airbox removal I found was pretty straightforward. Here is the airbox. I'm using a flashlight here because the light in the garage isn't that great. But there's the airbox. It sits in here just like this, and it connects, this side here connects straight to the carburetor. This side here connects to the air intake hose. So all you got to do is just loosen the hose clamps on each of these little pieces here, and then that whole airbox assembly just comes out. Oh, one other thing. On the very bottom, there's probably a little screw. I use my finger and the flashlight to point, but if you see this hole right here, that should have a 10mm bolt on it, and it bolts in to this bracket that's sticking out there down at the bottom that attaches right to the starter bracket. So like I said, mine was missing that bolt altogether. It was just held in place by those hose clamps, so this came right out as soon as those hose clamps were undone. Nope, I'm actually forgetting something. See that hole right there? There was a breather tube right there that I pulled out. That breather tube attaches straight to the engine right down there. So I just pulled that breather tube out, and then the box came out. So anyway, that was pretty straightforward. Now that we're down here, there's the starter, that round thing right down there, and just above the starter is the carburetor, and right here is the issue that I was having. This is, and I didn't know this before I started, this was the picture I uploaded to the Facebook group. This is a primer right here where you see that rubber boot. That primer is to prime the carburetor before you start it, so it's a little easier to start on some days. Apparently it's a pretty common issue that primer will leak and you have to replace it all the time. Mine is leaking presently, and there's fuel all over the undercarriage here, all over the starter. So I've got my fuel shut off right there, set to off, so there's not an enormous amount of fuel flowing into the carburetor. And I will have to remember, if this is going to set for a long time at the farm, it would probably make sense to go ahead and turn that to off whenever it's going to sit. But anyway, that's where we're at right now. So I have a new primer on order, and that should be here in the next day or two, but that's not going to stop me from doing this job right now of replacing that starter. So let's dig into it. So looking at the starter here from the back of the bike, there's just two fasteners that hold it on. I already soaked those in PB Blaster, and then we have our hot wire coming in just up here. That fastens to the starter with a 10mm. These fasteners here I think are also 10mm, so we'll go ahead and see if we can break all these things free and pull that starter out. Oh yeah, so earlier when I said I disconnected the battery, this is the reason why. I didn't want there to be any chance of a spark down there when I was disconnecting this. There we go. Now the old starter's out, we get to unpack the new one. I ordered this on Amazon. I've already cut this open and looked at it, so it's not really an unboxing. It's not a surprise for me. The side of the box says Parts Player. I don't know if that's a brand or a supplier or what, but this is an aftermarket starter. It was like $32 or something, with shipping less than $35, or not shipping, but with tax, because I have Prime and there is no shipping, but with tax, less than 35 bucks. So apparently I read online that these starters can be rebuilt, but I figured for 35 bucks, might as well just go ahead and get a new one. So here's what it looks like, and I am going to hold it up to the other one that was on there. I frankly don't know, because I don't know the history of this four-wheeler, whether that other one was the factory original or not. But that's what the new one looks like. If we hold the two up side by side, you know, the height of the two, the height of the spindles, pretty much everything looks the same. The placement of the battery terminal, the two mounting bolts, everything looks the same as you would expect. Same weight. So anyway, should be pretty easy to get this hooked up, and then we'll see how it works. Go ahead and turn the key on. Make sure we're in neutral. See if it starts up. Okay. Give it another little start here, see what. Well, that starter replacement seems like a pretty straightforward DIY thing. I failed to show you what this was doing before. It was just making a clicking sound, which I guess is pretty common. And it sounded like the clicking sound was coming from up here where the solenoid is. But now that I have that new starter in there, you heard it, fires right up. So this is really simple, DIY friendly kind of thing. If you guys enjoyed this video, give it a like, hit that thumbs up button, I appreciate that. I'm ready to take this back out to the farm. Another day or two and that primer will be in. We'll screw that on and we'll put the breather box back together and we'll haul it out there and have a little fun. So thanks for following along. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.